Hey everybody, I really like that song.
Me too. I
So
was jamming in
smooth.
the background over here, like I
I
was
know.
like in a sauna or a spa or some sort.
Welcome everybody to Behind the Moon. I am your host Bobby, and this is
Selena from Essence of the Moon.
that's
Welcome,
right.
everybody. Welcome.
We are here tonight, simulcasting on both our channels. Ramon was unfortunately called away to work tonight, so he is not going to be able to join us. I'm seeing some people walk in, and I'm going to let people trickle in before we start saying hello.
Yeah.
What we're talking about tonight, though, before I hand the reins over to Selena, is there's not only being a witch, but there's the part that goes with it of coming out of the broom closet, telling your friends, telling your family. Sometimes
If you
it's
have.
if you have friends and family, it's just like coming out of the closet on a lot of things. So we're going to talk about that tonight. Um, I do want to say hello to a few people. La Madrina is here.
Oh, hello, Madrina.
Miss
Witch
Terrell
power is
D.
activated. I love that.
Donna, what's up, boo?
Hey, Donna.
Yadira, we need to set up a time for you to come on Behind the Cards.
She's
So
unavailable for like 3 months.
I know, but I
Just
want to
I gave
schedule
you
it.
an FYI. Yeah.
I know, I want to schedule in
The girl's
advance because I
busy.
know when she starts.
Congratulations, though, by the way. She got
I
a
know.
house. She showed me, like, gave me a quick room of her witchy room. Oh my God. Am I loving the layout? I love your huge altar there. Holy crap. I'm
It's
loving it.
so
I can't wait to
big.
like see the finished product.
um, Selena is here, Essence of the Moon. How you doing, boo?
Hi, I'm here.
Witchy best
Hi,
friend.
Jess. How
What's
are
up,
you?
Jess? Let's see. We've got people trickling in, and we'll be joining. Oh, look who popped her little head in. Joey,
Oh,
you
our
finished your
beautiful
client.
Joey.
For those who don't know, Joey is my in real life best friend. We hang out together all the time, and
Yeah.
she's my study buddy. We we learn shit together. We learned like adults. Is um, I was just with her yesterday.
Oh.
And then we've
Did you
got
tell her hi, by
Roman.
the way? Because I had texted you when.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was funny because Gerald was setting up a time for her to come up on his channel,
Yeah.
and he was
Selena
texting
texted
me
you
at
and
the
said,
same
remind
time.
Joey.
Yeah, he didn't know that I was sitting next to Joey, so he's texting both of us at the same time.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was cute.
I love that.
I finally
I'm on
realized
with
he didn't know.
Joe on Saturday at 11 o'clock Eastern time for a
Deck
casual chat.
casual. Madam Maruta.
Hi, Maru.
Maru sent me, and I'm still loving it. This deck of cards right here. Um,
I
the
got a deck of cards too by somebody, but you can show yours too.
I know I was just reaching for that. The Tarot de Aldios de los Tres is a very interesting deck if you like Ed Hardy style. But I
Mm-hmm.
also got this deck in the mail yesterday.
You
And
mean
for
like
those who
this deck
can't
right
see,
here?
that's the one, the
Look at
Agatha all
that.
along.
I haven't even actually gone through it yet. That's how my days have been. Like, I haven't even, like, yesterday I filmed my video for Ramon for Divine Masculine. If anybody is
Good
wondering what
video.
that is, please check out Ramon's page and look at the VR that he's doing with Divine Masculine. So I filmed that video actually outside right here on my porch. But I've been so busy that I haven't even had a chance to go through my decks. I went through one deck that was sent to me by Roman, who is in the chat. Thank you, Roman. And it's a Spanish tarot deck.
I know. I
And I
got
don't
all
have
excited. I
these.
like the size of them. They're wide, right?
Listen, these images are gorgeous. I did go through them sitting outside yesterday. I actually need a Spanish deck for my mom because she likes her readings in Spanish, and I'm horrible at trying to translate
Translate.
my cards into Spanish. Like the baston, now I know it's called baston because I never used the word baston in Spanish before. I never used wands. So this is going to come very much in handy. So thank you,
Baston?
Roman. Yes,
Really?
it says baston on here for
Huh. There was
uh
in oh, I had to ask you about it.
Yeah, oh no, it's called bastos. Qué pendejo, soy pendeja. Oops, it's called bastos. See? Bastos. That's a siete de bastos.
What was it I asked you about the other day? Sacerdotisa? The high priestess.
Oh,
In
it's on here too. Yeah, I've never. That's why. Like, how am I gonna read for my mom in Spanish if I can't even
if you don't know.
sacerdotisa?
Tisma. Tisa or
Yes.
tisima? Yeah, tisa.
Yeah.
Sacerdotisa. So
I'm sorry, we're
sacer
like jumping on a whole different topic over here, guys. We're
right?
speaking Spanish to you guys. But so I was so happy to get this because I do not have a Spanish deck. And when I'm doing readings for my cousins in Mexico or my mom, she wants it in Spanish. I struggled and I sounded like an idiot trying to translate these. So thank you, Roman. This is
You
going to
know what?
majorly come in handy for me.
At least your Spanish is fluid. My Spanish
Yes.
is
Well,
so
the Spanish is my first language.
no
Like mine is
Nintendo,
Latino.
lo siento. You know, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I can follow along with the family, but
Yeah. So
I'm
Spanish
always
was my first
self-conscious
language
about
because
it.
when we were at home, my parents made us speak Spanish. And if we spoke English at home, they'd get so pissed because they said, you're going to be so embarrassed when you go to Mexico to visit your family and you're not going to know how to communicate with them.
True story. My
So
mom
that's
didn't know
why I had to
Spanish
speak Spanish
because
first.
my grandparents didn't teach my mom Spanish because they wanted her to assimilate and fit in,
Correct.
and they
That's what
didn't
happened
want
to
her
my
to stand
cousins.
out. So my mom didn't speak Spanish. I had to start learning Spanish when I was a teenager. That's why it's so bad, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So Lexi was here.
Oh, hello, love.
Draven.
Hey, Draven,
Lexi.
what's up?
Oh, Lexi, do me a favor. Email me. All right. My email is in the description part. You are formally invited to join Miss Tarot D and I on our Leo presentation. I will
My
send you
dog
the
has a birthday
details.
on Lexi's birthday. Why are you like excluding me?
All right. Well, if
At my daughter's
if Darla
birthday.
wants to come, Darla can come to
It's
the
my daughter's
party.
birthday.
if
And I'm not going to miss
totally,
a chance to be on with Miss Tarot D.
I looking at it
Plain
that
and
way, I
simple.
don't blame you. Yes.
So
So,
if you kick me out of that, I'm going to be very mad at you.
I don't piss off no witches. All right.
Mhm.
So Lexi, we got you, Draven. What's up, Bo? Yadira. Oh, I said that. Maru. Okay. Sonia, here we are. What's up,
Oh, that's
Krista?
exciting, Sonia. I love
What are
that.
they?
Did you read that? She had an Akashic reading and she was a witch. I love it.
I love that. So, three of my past lives that I know of, I was highly quote unquote spiritual. One was a cardinal or priest type person,
Mm-hmm.
one was a high priestess, and one was a warrior priest. So, yeah,
I had 12.
those are the ones I
So
can
I'm my own
remember.
coven.
All right, where are we? Janet is here. Hi, Janet.
Hey, Janet.
What's up, boo? Okay, I think we're caught up with everybody. Yeah, but I figured Joey, you were just here for a bit. She's been working today.
Did we say hi to Janet Lee?
Yeah, I said hi, Janet. Oh, is it in the
Well, you know what? You don't let me click on it, by the way.
Well, because you had clicky power, and then we switched to Ramon so he could do his presentation for his trip, but he hasn't had a chance to do that yet. Poor. I am
So
so
her
intrigued.
Spanish on here, she says, my Spanish is from the kitchen crew at the Mexican restaurant. Yo estoy bien y pinche babosa. Janet Lee.
You know what they used to call me? A coconut.
So
Uh,
my son, he's very, very fair skinned. I'm not very dark. But my son's very even more fair skinned than I am. And he works at my cousin's restaurant in Houston with all Mexicans. Of course, he's Mexican too. But they call him camaroncito, so a little shrimp. Because he's like
um,
5'6.5" maybe, but he has like a pinkish tone to his color.
she said
So they
he's
call him camaron.
pinkish.
Yeah, they call him camaron.
They used to call me a coconut. Now, because I was brown on the outside and white on the inside. And there's a derogatory term in Spanish too that I don't know if it's safe to say on here, but it starts with a P. Um,
Mm-hmm.
can we say that?
I mean, it's in Spanish.
I don't want to get canceled or anything. That phrase is pocho. It's derogatory.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's fine.
yeah.
I don't think
It,
a lot of
it
people know what that means.
yeah, it's not a good word for it to be called. But so, Selena, I'm gonna let you take the reins, and Selena's gonna start our journey.
Yeah. So the title of our show is called "Coming Out of the Broom Closet." So, what is the broom closet? Does anybody have an idea or like a what you guys think about it? So, to be in the broom closet means you are practicing magic, spirituality, or energy work privately. It's often in secret. So, you're doing that out of fear of judgment or rejection or even harm from people in your community, people around you, your own family. So, for some of us, coming out as a witch or spiritual practitioner feels like a rite of passage for a lot of people. For others, it's like a layered thing. It's an ongoing process of not one that you want to reveal. You know, you're still very selective on who you tell about your practice or who you tell that you're practicing or anything like that. Um, Unfortunately, though, I feel, in my opinion, I don't think everyone should come out because privacy is not, I feel so good, because privacy is not a weakness. Um, it's a sacred protection and like shadow work, there's some sovereignty to it. So not everyone should be privy to that information unless you are 100% ready to fully back it up and not be afraid of the backlash, not be afraid of any of that stuff that's going to happen to you. But being a witch isn't about performance. It's not about. It's about energy. It's about intention. It's about connection, and it can be super duper magical without ever saying a word out loud. So you don't have to say I'm a witch out loud to be one. Um, and
There's a
more
reason witches worked in the shadows.
correct. Yeah.
That's a point I want to make. There's some areas you are just not going to tell anybody you're a witch. Let's be honest about it. Um,
Your work.
let's look at the Deep South here in the United
Yeah.
States,
Yeah. True.
where it's ultra Christian conservative, Bible Belt type things. Um, to say, hey, blessed be, light the bonfire, let's dance. It's not going to fly. I mean, there's some states that try to do away with Halloween in the past. So,
Long live Halloween, people. Long live
right.
Halloween. So, but that's my definition of being in the broom closet. It's in another form being in the closet where we've all, everyone talks about that through with the LGBT community and being in the closet. So being in the broom closet is very similar, but with witchcraft and your spirituality and your practice.
Yeah, there's a long history of
Mm-hmm.
people practicing magic in secret for many reasons. That is true. Some paths call for secrecy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you're not allowed to talk about anything. Other paths, there's a lot of judgment. You guys, I have been a witch most of my life. I was raised in a magical family. However, I still, to this day, I'm in my mid 50s. My birthday is just in a couple weeks. And I still keep who I am secret
Mm-hmm.
with some people. My husband's family, I love them dearly, but it's something that we don't talk about. They know about it. They found me on YouTube or somebody ratted me out to them or something, but um, they refer to it as my witchy stuff. Um, if it's referred to at all, we don't
Yeah.
talk about it. So I know better than to bring it up in their house. It's a very
Correct.
Christian neighbor. I'm looking up here because I've got 2 cameras set
I
up.
know. I have two going on, by the way. So if you see me looking over here, I'm looking at the comments, people.
I was going to use this one, and then while I was talking to Selena, I dropped the cord in the water. So I was like, crap.
My mic wasn't working on my laptop, so it was the same issue that I had on my live the other day. So that's why I had to improvise and have both of them running. So then I asked him if he wanted me to run the comments, but I can't run the comments, Bobby Boo.
I know. I sold your position to
Hi,
Ramon.
Nancy. Nancy's here. Welcome, Nancy.
I know she can't highlight, so I'm going to do it. Um,
So what's your story, Bobby?
my story. Well, I never was in the broom closet, really. I was that broom that hung on the wall in the living room. I was lucky. I came from a magical family, a spiritual family, a psychic family. Um, that's right, Javen. I have all the power. Um, I never felt the need to hide who I am or what I was feeling. I hid what I like. If I had a vision or something like that, I learned early to not tell people in my family,
Mhm.
because even though they believe in it, they wouldn't believe what I was saying to them,
Oh,
you know.
gotcha.
So um I just stopped telling my family about anything, and that drove me crazy. Literally, it just that having to keep quiet drove me up the wall. And then in high school, I had an elective class called Unexplained Phenomena. Hi, Audra. How you doing, love? Um, Nancy, Audra. Yeah, I had that class, Unexplained Phenomena, and we did tarot cards and talked about spiritual shit. And everybody in that class was very open on campus. I do this, I do that. And we were just babies, basically. But we're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're the badass. We do this. Um, that started me saying out loud, I'm a witch. That was the
That's so
first time I
cool.
said it out loud. And it felt weird. It felt like a shirt that doesn't fit. You know, like you're trying to tuck it in and you're noticing all the wrinkles and stuff. And you don't have a tie that matches. It just didn't feel right on me at the time.
Yeah.
I had to grow into it. I had to learn what being a witch was. How old were you, Bobby, when you first started reading or practicing? I was 15. Um, my first magical spell that I actually did, I was either in kindergarten or first grade with a shoelace and a key. Um, I don't
Love
even
that.
remember. It was a divining rod type thing, and I was basically just playing. Um, but I had gotten into one of my mom's books and found it,
Oh, cool.
and yeah, so that was that. Don't be jealous, Joey. It has a
I'm
lot
jealous
of
too,
shit.
Joey.
Yeah, there was a lot of shit that it goes with that lifestyle, um, that you don't get. Like I didn't know other witches existed. Like, let me rephrase that. Well, first of all, I didn't have friends growing up, so I never really went to other people's houses. But when I started going as a teenager or later on in life, I realized, where's your Ouija boards? Where's you don't have, man,
Spiritual
myth, and
tools.
magic encyclopedias.
Yeah.
You don't, you know,
You just have a regular encyclopedia? What's that?
yeah.
You know?
What? Yeah. So yeah, there was that, and then I lived in New Orleans for a while, which is
Oh,
very
I'm so
voodoo
jealous
centric.
about that too. I love New Orleans.
Um, so it didn't really. It was just a part of me. Like, the only thing I could say is that most Americans who identify as Christian just grow up that way. They don't ever have to say it. It was the
Hmm.
same for me.
True.
I never had to say it until I was older. I never had to put a name to it. Yeah.
Interesting. That's
But
very
yeah, I
cool
didn't
though that you had
learn
the
how to
support of
read.
your family though, that you had
Yeah.
support ish from or or you had the
My aunt
influence.
taught me. My aunt
Yeah.
and my cousins. Or my aunt was the first one to open my third eye for me. And, um, Yeah.
Oh, did she do sana sana colita de rana in
Oh,
your third
yeah.
eye?
Everybody did. For those who don't know that phrase, it means heel, heel, tail of lizard. It's really
So it's funny that, I grew up with all of these like little
folk.
sayings that
Yeah.
yeah, these Mexican folk sayings, and sana sana colita de rana is one that I would use on my kids to heal them. And then I'd kiss it to make it feel better, which they always felt better. So you would make them specific food that would help heal them. And you would do sana sana conita de
Oh,
rana on them and kiss it to make it feel
I don't
better. Like you did
know
all
about.
of those things. And then I'm like, now that I'm older and I'm understanding all of this a lot more better, I'm like, heck, I was doing witchcraft when I was
Yeah.
young too,
Mm-hmm.
throughout like my whole time as a mom. I just didn't think I was doing it. Like it was just
Yeah, you
something
didn't
all the
know.
moms did. Yeah.
And that's what magic used to be a long, long time ago. It was just part of daily life, you know?
Yeah. Yadira said it was Mexican Reiki tricks.
Here's an Mexican Reiki
Yeah.
tricks. I
I
love that.
love that.
So did your family, if you had a sore throat or something, my mom would take a can of Minute Maid um frozen lemonade and she'd heat that up and give it to us to
No, my
swallow
mom would heat
directly.
up an orange, like a real orange. She'd
Uh
almost like heat it up and almost fry it, like cut it in half,
Tom.
put it on the comal, which is like
A
your
flat dish. Yeah.
griddle, and put it face down so that it would get. Hey, Tom, you guys are witches. You. Speaking of Tom, we're going to be getting our deck soon, but that's a squirrel moment. It's our Baphomet decks that we've been like patiently waiting on from Kickstarter. But my mom would cut it in half, flip it upside down on the griddle, and then let that top part of the orange burn. And then we would have to eat that orange to help with our sore throat. If you had hiccups, you'd get a red string and put saliva all over it and then put it on a circle on the kid's
Really?
forehead and it would get rid of their hiccups.
Mm,
Like it was just weird like stuff like that. But then as I'm reading one of the books that was sent to me called like Mexican Witchcraft,
uh-huh.
it's on there. Like that it was considered witchcraft. And I'm
Look
like,
at
what?
that. You know, when we were kids, there was a TV show out called In Search of with Leonard Nimoy. I'm sure there's a couple people in chat that remember it. It was basically a 2020 show for the supernatural and weird Bigfoot and
Mm-hmm.
aliens, and it was very cool. Uh, yeah, that's how I was raised. It was just part of our lives. Um, yeah. So what else you got?
Yeah. So I so obviously I'm Mexican. Obviously. My grandparents lived in Mexico. My grandmother came to the States. She got a visa, came to the States. She hated living up here. She hated she couldn't walk to the store to pick up stuff that she needed. She had to get a car to go do that. Like everything was too far away. Um, so I didn't have the privilege of having my grandparents there to teach me. My aunts and uncles all lived in Mexico. We were the only ones that lived in the States. We lived in Florida. So I did not have that um, opportunity to learn from them. As I'm getting older now, and then my mom's telling me things, she's like, oh, yeah, your great grandmother did this, your grandmother did this. And I kind of knew my grandmother did stuff because when I would visit her, it was the same stuff that I was just talking about, that she could heal you with absolutely just a touch of her hand. You would feel better. So it didn't dawn on me until I'm older that that's what she was doing. She was like a folk witch, and or a
Mhm.
kitchen witch or a granny witch. Like she would do all of that stuff, but in Mexico. So I didn't come out of the broom closet until like 10 years ago. And even then, some of my siblings don't know. All of my sisters know. My older brother, I just saw him a couple days ago. He came up from Florida and we had lunch, we had dinner together with his boss. And my brother he's like, hey, how's your witchcraft coming along? How's your YouTube channel coming along? So he's the only brother that knows. I have four brothers, but the fact that he was interested and was asking me questions meant the world to me. And then his boss knew all about witchcraft and energy and intention because he practices the same thing. And my brother was like, his boss and I had this hour-long conversation talking about the craft and different aspects of it. And my brother is like, I did not even know that you thought like this or that you did stuff like this. And he goes, well, you don't tell everybody, you don't tell everybody that you're doing stuff like that.
Nah.
But him and I had a really good conversation, but I was very lucky to have siblings, and my mom especially, who are very supportive of my path. And they call me all the time for help and assistance. And then now my little sister is also studying the craft. So
That's an interesting point. You never know just by looking at somebody who has what belief system, all right, or what they do. To judge somebody just by looking at them is not only childish and wrong, but it's plain stupid. Um, People are always going to judge, though. I remember taking my suegra, my mother-in-law, to the dispensary, and her and my husband waited in the truck for me while I went in.
yeah,
And she was cracking up because there were such nice cars showing up, and these little old ladies getting out, and
yeah,
people in business suits. And she's like, I don't believe it. I was like, I told you, it's not that big a deal. But the point is, you never know who is a believer and who is not. Never assume. Um, I long ago saw this one dude who was very businesslike, and his shirt moved, and I saw a Cernunnos amulet inside of it. Um,
mm-hmm,
and so, oh, witch, but we were in a
yeah,
crowd of people. Did I blow his cover?
no,
No, you know.
yeah. But I am now. It's loud and proud, and obviously I have a channel, so Nature
You do?
Medicinal Abuela Claudia. Yeah, so it's good. I like this path that I'm on, and when I was talking to my brother's boss about this path, and him and I had so many similar beliefs and so many ideas on energy and intention and on herbal magic and everything, that to me it felt like I was just talking to an old friend who I hadn't seen in a long time. So it's good that we have these types of connections where people understand what you're talking about and
Yeah.
are honestly interested, and not just the mundane, or how was work today, or how was the drive home today, or we have other, I feel, a
Deeper.
lot more interesting and deeper topics to talk about, deeper
Yeah.
connections as well, and
I
we
don't
value those
mind
types of
surface
connections.
communications, but that only goes so far,
Yeah.
My nose, you guys don't have this problem because you got normal sized noses, but look at this piece of work right here. I get hairs growing out of this. I had to braid that shit last night, you guys. It was awful. So,
I'm getting visuals.
yeah, it's just
You need to like
um,
trim them, don't you trim them?
I do, but the battery's dead. So I'm like
Just
itchy,
don't go
itchy.
like this.
She's making fun of me because I do the tic tac thing when I'm reading my chat.
Yeah, just don't do that, because people who are watching you on a large screen are going to see those things.
I'm saying you mofos right there, and yeah, um, yeah, it's dangerous for some people to come out of the broom closet. I want to go back to that
Yeah.
real quick. Um, you may not know who you can communicate with, but you also don't know who's going to take it in a negative way and start shit with you. So you want to break the topics gently, in my opinion. There are other witches who are like, yeah, back up. Here's my pentacle. I'm a witch. Woo! And if that's all you, that's all you. Great. Groovy. But
Yeah.
for me, I advise caution and moving forward for personal safety. I'm always about personal safety.
Yeah. Me too.
It's like I don't go out of my way to tell people I'm gay in real life. I'll let them figure it out once they see me. But
Oh
I
my
just
gosh.
good night, Joey. Um
Good night, Joey.
yeah, it's a need to know basis. And quite
Hmm.
frankly, most people don't need to know. However, I do walk around wearing bracelets and identifying jewelry. So,
Heck, I have tattoos. When I was at that restaurant the other day,
uh-huh.
the our waitress, she saw my tattoo. She's like, "Oh, I like your tattoos," and she asked to see the one in the middle, like this huge one that says "The Witch." And she goes, "Oh, that looks like you." Of course.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get my Hecate tattoo, but I want to get it. I
Like
want to
this
get the
one?
torches. That's the one. But I want to incorporate it into a Hermes tattoo also. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, what was
Oh,
next on
Joey's
our
got to
list?
go eat.
Yeah. Yes, Joe's got to go eat. Um, so
Amen to that, Yadira. She says, I don't have anyone in my life who doesn't know I'm a bruja. Anyone going forward, I will like sugarcoat it. I ain't got time for that.
it wasn't a problem until we moved into the same very small town as my husband's parents.
Yeah,
They're in their 70s, so we wanted to be near at hand in case something, they needed us.
correct. And early
Plus, we,
ritual said, what? Bobby's gay?
I know it's hard to tell. Um, we moved down here during COVID to take care of them, and we just ended up
Mm-hmm.
buying a house. This
Us
is
too. My neighbors are right here. Like literally. If I like turn my camera, you can see their
That's a
house.
beautiful background. The cool thing is because as the later it gets, it's getting darker
Yeah.
and darker, and it looks really pretty. Um,
Only thing is I'm gonna have all these bugs flying at me because I have the lights on.
when you said Hecate, your crown opened up. I don't doubt it. She is moving these days, you guys. People are being quote unquote activated, called, given
Mm-hmm.
their marching orders, however you want to say it. Um, Witches and spiritualists are being called into action.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Mr. OD. You have had to keep aspects of your life still hidden.
Do the
Yeah,
work. Yeah. So I'm lucky that
sometimes.
my boss, I I had that inner knowing that I could tell her within like 4 months of working there. To her turning around and saying, "Oh, really? So do I." So her and I kicked it off like really quickly because we were both had the same interest, and then we felt so comfortable with each other right away that we're like, okay, we must have had a past life. So then I did a past life regression on us. We sure did have a past life together.
I don't know where or when, but I know it's a given that we have you and I. As soon as I locked eyes on you, I was like, that bitch, right? That's her. Her. Um, it's
It was like within not even a month of me being on YouTube.
yeah. There's certain people that cross my path that just open doors in my heart that I didn't even know
Mm,
were there. So that's cool. Let's talk about how old were you when you started truly and
9.
9?
Mhm.
Tell me
I
more. Tell me
remember I
more.
remember seeing things that so we lived in a haunted house. I knew it was haunted. I would see the first thing I saw was a hag, like a really scary looking witch coming down from the attic door. I was scared shitless. I told my mom. She was like, "There's nobody up there." Oh, we love you. So I was like 9 years old when I was seeing things. I would tell my mom, and she was like, "I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing there." So I was, ah,
For those who I find it hard people don't know, but La Llorona is a Mexican folk story about a woman who drowned her children uh,
and every
to
night
get
she
back
goes
at her
looking for
husband.
them.
Yeah,
Hmm.
now she walks around
With a white
screaming,
gown with mud
screaming,
and
"My
blood all over
children, my
it.
children, where's my
And
children?"
her tears are like black tears coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when I was seeing things like when I was around 9. I remember that. when the day before my dad passed, or actually the night before, the night my father passed away, we had a huge birthday party that day. It was my little sister's birthday, and it was also Easter Sunday. Um, I the party had ended. We were all inside cleaning up and bringing stuff inside the house, and he was talking to my mom saying he had to go somewhere. My dad was a police officer. He had to leave. Um, I remember him walking out that door and knowing in my gut and in my heart that I was never going to see him again. I could not sleep that night. I had the worst feeling, gut feeling, nauseated feeling, knowing
Hmm.
he was going to be gone. So we went to school the next day. It was a Monday. We still had school, and the teachers were extra nice to us that day. So they had already known my father had passed away, but my mom didn't want us coming home yet, and said, "Please let them continue class." The teachers knew, but they said, they won't be in school right after that day because of funeral and stuff like that. So as soon as we got home, my sister had told us that my father passed away. And at that moment, I felt my dad's spirit essence hug me because he knew I could, I must have known I could feel him. And that was just the beginning of me starting to realize I was different. When he was around, I could smell his cologne. I could see him. I could sense him. We would go to the cemetery, and all I would taste was blood in the cemetery. And it was stuff like that that had always happened to me. I just didn't really look at it as witchcraft or anything weird or different. I knew I was different, but not in the sense of I'm a witch. I just I didn't know that term yet.
See, that's a good point. For me, anybody who was psychic, empathic, um, spiritual, could connect with the elements and make things happen was a
Hmm.
witch. Whether you did it with prayer, whether you did it with this, whether you did it with that. To me as a
Yeah.
kid, if you lived above and beyond this line, you were a witch.
Hmm.
You just didn't want to admit it. That was my thinking when I was growing up.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that
Have
was
you
that
ever?
was my early experience, and I pretty much blocked it out after that. I mean, of course, I was a mom at 17 years old, guys. So I was a young mom. I was still in school. My life revolved around my three boys. Absolutely everything that I was a very present mom. They had Boy Scouts, they had Cub Scouts, they had camping, they had soccer, they had football, they had basketball, they had Boy Scout camps in New York that I would drive them to. I was a very busy mom. I know.
Bitch, we
But I
had
mean, I
bicycles. That's it.
but so my life revolved around them, and I didn't have a chance to really think about witchcraft. But then now that I'm thinking about it, we talked about sana sana colita rana, different little things that we did as a mom that I just thought, oh, it's just folk stuff. But
Here's
no, it
one.
was really my witchcraft that was coming through. Yeah, rubbing an egg on a forehead. La limpia.
La Limpia. That's
Hmm.
called La Limpia, in case you guys
So,
didn't know.
but it wasn't until like 10 years ago after my divorce, and then I met my husband that I'm like realizing, because my husband's the one that said, "You're a witch." And I wasn't doing stuff that was like witchy. He
You're like,
just
what do
he
you
automatic
mean?
I know. He automatically knew I was. So he started buying statues for me and the tarot deck and
Well, your
herbs and
husband
crystals.
follows who?
He's a Freemason, so Baphomet. So he's
So
very
it's
familiar with rituals and occult stuff because of the masonry.
hmm.
So, but I was also a Knights Templar in a past life, so I'm sure we had some type of connection back then.
I th- I want to do another regression as soon as I could find like
I'm gonna invite
somebody
someone
near
when it's
me.
kind of my turn to
That
reach out to
sounds
my
good.
regressionist and bring her on the show with the three of us.
Okay, I would
Yeah.
totally do that. Um, the best past life experience I ever had was the reader. I could tell before I sat down, I could see their glow pretty much. And I was like, okay, this is going to be good. Okay, I got. And sure enough, as soon as he took my hands in his, it was like contact, one of those things. And it's just, he took me on a journey. And yes,
So I was in New Orleans at the Marie Laveau shop, and I wanted to get a reading from someone there.
off Jackson Square.
The real Marie Laveau shop.
Hmm.
Wow. All he had to do was touch my hands, and he knew fucking everything about me and knew who I was, everything. He knew, I mean, down to the nitty gritty of losing my son, how that happened. Oh, thank you, Nancy. Yeah. But he was incredible. This man was just incredible. The fact that he could touch my hand and get so much information, on top of psychically, but that way.
Right.
That's what I want to learn. That's what I want to do.
Um, I didn't consider myself psychic. Yeah, I knew I was. I just,
Hmm.
again, labels. I've always hated freaking labels. It's,
Yeah.
I just assumed everybody in the world knows there's an animal sense that
Yeah.
everybody has. We're living, even as a kid, my auntie told me this. Everything on the planet has an animal sense. We're animals. Why would we deny that animal sense, that special sense that plays off of our physical
Hmm.
senses? Um, it just drives me knuckin' futs. Why do people deny who and what they are? Um, Ooh, mud around New Orleans holds a lot of wisdom and history in it. The waters that
Oh,
flow
I
into
love New
the
Orleans.
Mississippi bring memory and
But I didn't
emotion.
let anybody else touch me when I was down there, not without my permission, because I didn't want anybody picking up
That's
or
probably a good
taking.
thing
Yeah,
because there's evil bakors down there
correct.
too, and
Yeah, there's like the vampire type of energy where they'll
there's
take.
leeches. Yeah,
Yeah.
and magical energies attract magical beings, both good and
Hmm.
not so good. So yeah, that's my belief in that. Um, how did people react when you started saying out loud you were a witch?
I don't know. I'm like, for my family, I think they were a little bit weirded out by it. My sisters,
Hmm.
but they kind of knew I was because I always wore black. Um, I was I was the quiet one. Liked, I was always outside. I was always playing outside. I was never, to me, being inside was just so boring. I loved being in the woods. I loved being by the river. I loved nature.
I agree there. Um, that's a thing that most psychics and witches I know have boundaries. Don't
Yeah,
fucking touch me unless I give you permission. That's
correct.
pretty much with everybody, but um, I think we're more aware of the energy of people than
Oh,
and
totally.
which makes us more aware when we see inappropriate touching happening around us. Um, like if I see somebody getting a little too cozy with somebody that's uncomfortable, this happened in the store the other day. I was at the dollar store and um,
I love the dollar store, by the way.
oh, I
Or
do
Dollar
too.
Tree. Dollar Tree is my favorite.
Because we were having a movie day, so we needed
Oh
candy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Not the one with Joey. That I just had a movie day with Joey, but my husband and I did one, and I went and I got us candy. And while I was in there was a woman shopping, and there was an obviously homeless guy talking to her. And at first, I didn't think anything of it. I'd made pass by. There was a nice distance between them.
Yeah.
Um, but I noticed everywhere she went, he was following, like 4 steps
Mm,
behind, talking to her.
yeah.
And so when she turned around the corner, I kind of stood between them, and I did the whole mouthy thing. Are you okay? And she was like, no, no. So
Hmm.
I can't remember why I went off on that tangent, but oh, we're more aware of the energy happening
And
around us.
surroundings.
Yeah, we're more aware of our surroundings. And I think because I grew up with a sister and females in my family, I'm just aware of energy. I've got
Yeah.
nieces that I'm
See, and I'm
protective
aware of that
of.
because of my dad. He always made sure we knew about our surroundings. Like we knew where to sit
Hmm.
at a restaurant.
Hmm.
Like he would have to be facing the door.
Yeah.
We would never
Don't
be
sit
the
with your
ones.
back to the door.
Correct. When you're walking on a sidewalk, the women always walk to the right by the building. The men always by the street. That's what my dad always
Well, you
he
know why
taught
that
us when
is,
we were
don't you?
young
Why men have to walk on the street side where they're supposed
because
to?
it's to show if they're available or not available, right?
No,
What is it?
it's because when cars go by and
Oh yeah,
splash
yeah.
things up,
Okay,
the
yeah.
men act as the shield. That's
Hmm.
why that's the way we were taught in school.
So my dad was very much like he taught us to be aware of our surroundings and where to stand, where to sit, where to walk.
Dang, girl.
Oh,
Yeah, always be aware. Growing up in toxic, abusive households can heighten those senses as well. True.
yeah.
Um, yeah, you learn how to stay your ass out of danger.
Hmm.
You know, danger, Will Robinson, danger. Um, and if you don't get that joke, you're not as old as I am. So
He's old.
we talked about the reaction from our families,
Yeah.
reaction from
But now, I
friends.
mean, now I feel like my mom's proud of the fact that I am.
Mm.
You know,
My
I think
mom's
she's
always been proud of her
yeah.
kids.
And now, like, she'll tell me stories of her grandmother, and that she remembered doing stuff. And I'm like, why am I just now hearing about this, Mom? She goes, oh, it just was a memory. It was a flashback. And I'm watching you read cards for me. And as you're doing that, I had a deja vu that I'm looking at my grandmother. And I'm like,
Aw.
oh,
Did you ever see the Disney show Echo?
yes.
It's
Hmm.
that is such a cool show. For those who
Yeah.
don't know, it's a woman who calls upon the women in her ancestry line
So
for
I do
power.
that.
Very cool.
So I do that. Like I do that when I'm making oils or I'm doing rituals because I was able to recount 12 past lives of myself as a witch. So with me, I'm 13. So I'm a full coven when I'm doing rituals, when I'm doing my oils. I
You're
bring
like,
all of
I'm more
them.
than enough.
Yeah. I bring all of them forward to help me with my workings, to help me with my oils, with my rituals. And then I also bring my ancestors and the goddesses that I'm working with and my angels and everybody, all my spirit allies to come with me and help me. So it's a lot of energy when you're doing that. I'm exhausted after that because I do a lot of energy work on stuff.
Don't over time, um,
I know.
you'll build up the psychic
Yeah.
muscles, then you won't tire out
Yeah.
quite as easy. Now I can go a whole day of doing readings and then come and do YouTube and I'm okay. But by the end of that, I'm sleeping for 2 days.
Yeah. See.
Um, Luckily, I don't have to do that very often. I'll have to do that next week. I've got a psychic fair. And then Sherry Voices from the Swamp. I'll be on her
Oh,
channel.
how exciting. So I'm going to be texting you in the middle of the night like you were doing me when I was on her show
I
last
did
weekend.
nothing of the sort. You're a
Don't
liar, and
believe
I
him,
don't
guys.
appreciate these
Him and
slanderous
Ramon were
words.
texting me throughout the whole thing, trying to make me laugh. And then Ramon takes a picture of me laughing, trying to hold it in, and sends it to the group chat and making fun of me.
If you guys watch when Selena's doing her shows sometimes, and Ramon and I are in the crowd, there's sometimes I think I made her laugh the other day when I sent her a text saying, "I'll tip you $20 if I can hear you fart out loud," and you can see her go. Yeah, anything I
I'm
can do to
trying
make
so
her.
hard to hold my composure
I know,
because I
and
don't have
she
a
did
poker
until
face
I
like
I
Ramon
sent back
does.
25.
Yeah,
That was the one that did.
I know.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
That's
love
what I have to
doing
deal
that to
with.
you
My
though.
older brothers are constantly harassing me while I'm doing a live show with Sherry the whole time.
It was so much fun. But to be fair, we did that with Ramon when
I
he
know.
was on Sherry's
Yeah.
channel.
Yeah.
Poor guy. And he did so good at being keeping a poker face. You
Oh
could
my
see him
God.
do
He's
this a couple
incredible.
times.
And then he would like text us, like he'll do a reading because Bobby's like, I want a dirty one. So then Ramon will pull a card for you and then send you pictures underneath the table while Sherry's like
Fuck.
talking. It's
That was
hilarious.
so fun. My husband
Yeah,
was in the next room just hearing me guffaw. I was
I know.
laughing
My
so
husband
hard.
was at work, so I was able to laugh out loud, not have to wake anybody up, and I'm laughing
Oh,
hysterically. We are complete lunatics, by the way, on chat.
oh,
But
God,
we're
that
like
was so
regular
funny.
like brother and sisters on, we're like siblings via chat.
It was
It's a good relationship.
hilarious. Um, so my family I didn't have a problem with. It's friends that I had a problem with
Hmm.
telling that I was a witch. Um, I had a problem at several high schools and ended up having to go to private school.
Wow.
Um, Bobby was a little bit of a handful. Um,
Really? You don't say.
but I ended up having to go to a private Christian school.
Oh,
And yeah, which was fine. My mom didn't want to be accused of raising us in certain belief systems, so I went to Western Christian High School, uh, and all of my friends were obviously Christian. I have some of those friends today. Um,
do they know?
yeah, they know.
Cool.
One of them, we don't talk about it, but one of them, very great conversations with her about it. But she's a college professor too, so she's.
Oh, cool.
But they're all good people. They may not be witchy inclined, but everyone I went to high school with, if I'm still in touch with you, you're freaking awesome. Um, some of the people I grew up with, there's no way I would have ever told.
Yeah.
It's not as open now as it was 50 years ago, or
Oh,
45
totally.
years ago.
Yeah.
Um, Back then, we didn't have the established Wicca that we have now. Wicca's not that old, you guys. You think it's an old religion. It's
But the
not.
50s?
The 50s. Yeah, the 1950s. So it's definitely less than 80 years old, 70 years old. Um so this that type of thing, the knowledge wasn't as prevalent. We didn't have
Hmm.
the internet to look things up. We didn't have YouTube shows that could educate us or share information.
Or all these
Um,
books that are readily available that you can buy on Amazon instead of having to go to an
formats.
esoteric shop,
Yeah,
you know?
I get audiobooks and I listen to
Hmm.
them through my headset as I'm walking around the house doing stuff. Um,
Yeah, I do the same. I do audiobooks while I'm working.
all right. She says, I fuck shit up in high school too. Word.
I love
But you
you,
got to remember,
Jessica.
this is back when you could smoke in high school
I love
campuses,
you. We need to get you on the show.
right? Uh, yeah, now there are a lot of books. I think
Oh, totally.
the big book at that time was Buckland's Big Blue Book of
Hmm.
Magic
Yeah.
and Janet and Stuart Farrar's Bible of the Witches. I think it was what it was. Um, those were two of the staples. We didn't have the variety of tarot cards and oracle cards. Now there were tarot cards, but it was like Tarot of the
But they were
Witches.
like Rider Waite and
Yeah, Rider Waite.
Crowley's.
Everybody sees from Live and Let Die, the James Bond movie. Um, the Jane Seymour character Solitaire used Tarot of the Witches, so
Hmm.
that was a big thing in that book. Uh, that book and the Satanic Witches, where you start. Everybody starts with the Big Blue
Hmm. I have that
Bobby
on like
School
a
Desk has an
PDF on
ashtray.
my phone for like easy reference. School
Bo-
desk
That's
has an
true. Bobby
ashtray.
School Desk has an ashtray. We could smoke in high school. Um,
Stop it.
not on the campus, but in the field. Yeah, when you went out to the basketball courts and people were playing, if you
What?
were past the line in the field, you could smoke in high school. Yeah, I shit you not. This I can't be the only one. Anybody else in chat, tell me. Tom's like, Jesus, even I read the Big Blue Book.
Aw, Tom.
um,
Okay, Tom. So we're back to. I mean, I'm back to a squirrel moment with Tom. With our, we've been patiently
yep.
waiting for this set for
See,
like ever. Yeah. So I'm excited. We need to do a live on that, Tom, and review the deck together.
isn't it weird? Shit, we could you could smoke
Yeah.
in malls at that time.
Heck, I mean, you can see a pregnant woman smoking with her
Oh my
kids in the
gosh,
car, and the
yes!
windows are up.
My
Yeah.
my ex, we're
Oh my
having
God, Miss
dinner
Tara
with
D
his
said her high
moms
school
one
had a
night.
smokers lounge for seniors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, Miss Tara D.
A friend of mine, well, my ex-boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
his mom told us while we
Airplanes.
were eating dinner one night, yeah, I used to smoke a lot when I was pregnant with him, and then I'd eat the ashes. Well, she was an older Filipina lady when she was pregnant, so apparently she thought that was going to provide some kind of bonus. I don't know. But when she says, yeah, I used to eat the ashes, all I could think of was, oh, that explains so much about him. The final piece of the puzzle is falling
Yeah.
into place. Uh, hospitals, airplanes. Oh my gosh, yeah, we used to smoke on airplanes.
Yeah.
I did that when I was a 15-year-old. I remember. Oh my gosh, I forgot all about that. That is cray cray. Um, yep,
Yeah, we keep best friends.
anybody.
She cracked ashes in dirt when she was pregnant with Jalen.
When
Craved ashes and dirt. Okay.
wait, hold up. I want to read that first sentence and make sure I'm reading it right.
What?
Did
Linda.
did I miss something here? Selena, are you missing that one first part of the sentence right there? At the convent I went to. I'm loving it, Linda. Did nothing. You cray
I mean,
cray.
I was buying cigarettes for my grandma, but that was in Mexico.
Oh no, my dad sent me and my sister when I was like
Yeah.
7 and 8 years
Yeah.
old
And I
to
would
the
just go,
store
like,
with a
they would
note.
sell them like individual instead of like a whole pack.
Yeah.
So my grandmother would be like, oh, can you go pick me up 3 cigarettes? I'm like, okay. So I'd go to the store and, I was 10 years old buying cigarettes for my grandma.
Yeah, apparently everybody had a high school that allowed them to smoke but you. All good Catholic girl, good Catholic girl there, huh, Linda? Likely story. Yeah.
See,
So
so Early Ritual said, I started smoking at 12. I never had an issue buying cigarettes. So I would buy cigarettes for my brothers. Also, when I was older, I was like 15 buying cigarettes for them. They, I guess, did not look old enough. So they would send me to go get it, and they weren't going to tell a girl no. Well, years later, that the owner of that shop ended up being my neighbor. So I would tell him about it. He goes, no, I never did that to you. I knew you were 18. I wasn't. I was
liar.
15 buying cigarettes for my brothers. So then I had to like know when I would go purchase it,
What's
like
up,
how to
Val?
say everything properly and not look like I'm buying it for somebody else. I was like, what if I mess up the words and I don't say Marble Reds properly?
That's why they wrote it down for me.
I know.
But to be fair, my dad, because we were kids and had smaller hands, he used to have us separate the weed, the stems and the seeds
Stop
for
it.
him. Yeah, we could roll joints by the time I was in grade school. True story. Shit you not.
Wow.
Yeah. So totally different era. Yeah, we were wild. I jumped off the roof one time with an umbrella to see if how Mary Poppins did it. Um,
Then you realize you couldn't do it,
Spoiler,
Mary Poppins.
didn't work.
Hmm.
Um, oh, it's funny. Pack of Marlboros. My dad smoked Marlboros, and my mom smoked Winston's. So I
Hmm.
thought M for men, Marlboro. W for women, Winston. I thought that's
Oh,
the way it was. To be fair, we had one video game and it was called Pong, so we weren't the brightest.
yeah.
Um, we're talking about a generation that used to throw big metal lawn darts at each other from across the lawn.
Hmm.
Yeah. No. I really wanted to fly with that umbrella, damn it. I tried.
I think we all do.
Your mom smoked Virginia Slims. Isn't it amazing
Yeah,
how one statement can remind you of
I love that.
Maru? I love rolling joints. It's a pastime. I can't do that anymore. That's why I smoke the
Look
bong,
at
Maru.
Roman's right above that. He'd stay at his aunt's place. She would let me puff on her cig while rocking me to sleep. I must have been 6 years old. Stop it.
Yeah. My grandma used to give my brother vodka 7, let him drink out of her glass. My mom just found this out recently, and we were talking about it a few weeks ago. We're like, yeah, grandma was an alcoholic, remember? No, I don't remember it, mom. Well, to be fair, my mom was going through breast surgery, which is why my grandma moved in. My mom had cancer,
Hmm.
and yeah, grandma was a wonderful, talented cook, took care of her grandkids. Apparently, my brother and sister didn't like her because she was mean to them, but she treated me awesomely. And I think she kind of overcompensated with me because she knew I was getting beat by my dad.
Oh,
So she kind of overdid it, I think. But yeah, she was a little woman. You didn't mess with her. She's that woman you see in the memes of the Mexican women where you hear and they turn to you
that was
like
my
that.
abuelita too.
Yeah, and
She
mess with
was a
that woman.
sweetheart, sweetheart, but do not mess. Do not. She was like, I don't know, 4'11" maybe. Super tiny.
See, I'm not the only one that's ever tried that. Um, yeah, I think it. I honestly have been trying to think of a major issue I had telling people I'm a witch, and I just didn't have a problem with it because I didn't tell certain people. I knew who I could talk to about psychic stuff or witchy stuff. I remember being a
Hmm.
kid at slumber parties, um, teaching people how to make Ouija boards with paper and a glass on a flat surface. And
Oh, you need to teach me how to do that. Although I have a
oh,
week.
it's
I
easy.
mean, I have one, but I think it's cool to make it your own.
Yeah. Um, my aunt taught me how to use playing cards for tarot cards, so I knew how to do that. Um, by age of 8, you drank espresso.
For breakfast.
Yeah, that's true. Smoke cigars. And it wasn't that long ago in England when children were being forced to go up chimneys as chimney sweeps, so that was just not that long ago, 50, 60 years. Um,
Julianne, Arts and Crafts Hour, the next new show here on Wild Raven Tarot.
you never know what you're going to get here, you guys. Let's be honest. Well, that which brings us back to the point we're talking about coming out of the broom closet. And a lot of people, a lot of witches, a lot of spiritualists go their whole lives without sharing who or what they are. They
Hmm.
don't need a community. They don't want a community. Those witches are called solitaire. Um, they practice better alone. It doesn't make you any less a witch. In some respects, it can make you better because you're developing your own sense. You're not following somebody else's path, their dogma.
I mean,
Um,
I'm solitary.
yeah, I'm lucky. I've been part of a lot of covens in the past, but they all were basically BS, they didn't resonate with me. They were more social groups and social gatherings, and the
Mm.
magic just wasn't flowing.
Oh.
Um, and now I'm lucky. My best friend is my high priestess at the coven, so
Mm-hmm.
that's it's not a problem. I was lucky enough to lead the midsummer ritual recently. So now I'm in my mid 50s, and I'm still hiding myself from certain people, his parents, his
And
family.
that's okay. I
You know,
mean, it's for it's for protection. I mean, you have
yeah,
sometimes you have to do that. And not
yeah.
everybody needs to know who you are.
People refer to the burning times. And for those who don't know what the burning times were, it was the Inquisition. That was a point when the church decided to go after witches, and it was a long period of
Yeah.
time. Um, there's debate now where scholars are saying, "Oh, it wasn't that bad." So I don't know exactly what to believe in that, but if it was powerful enough to where people are still talking about it centuries later, you know, don't downplay it. But the point is that there's still that fear of the burning times. Nobody wants to wake up and see a big witch written across their um, garage door. Uh, but if it were
Good
me, I'd
fucking
probably
luck
go
if
out
you
there
do
with a
that at
happy
my
face.
place, because my husband's gonna find you, and my husband's
Well,
a
I'm in
Marine.
Arizona. We shoot here.
Yeah,
Um,
he's not gonna let anybody come near
n-
or try and harm me. So
now,
good luck trying to write witch
have
on
you
right, like.
ever actually been ridiculed or in fear of losing your job or anything like that?
Hmm. I'm sorry, you lost me. What happened? I was reading comments and I looked over.
uh, I asked, hey, was there ever a point where you felt the need, where you were worried about retribution in a social setting, either by people, a specific setting? No. See, you're like me. We're like, take it or leave it, bitch.
Yeah,
Here I
you
am.
don't like who I am. There's the door. I don't give a shit.
Uh, Maureen had it. She nailed it right there. We were Gen X, and we were raised by parents who were raised by Depression era kids, and many of us had fathers who were Vietnam veterans. That's exactly
Yeah,
true. My dad was a Vietnam vet.
yeah.
That's how he died. Not in Vietnam. He died
The
2 years
after
ago.
effects.
The after effects from Agent Orange.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's
Yeah, but
exactly what
I
it
mean,
was.
I never felt like I was. I mean, not now, not in this life, in past lives, totally. And that's where I feel like I'm being very open about it now, because again, like I said, I'm helping clear and heal that throat chakra,
Mm,
because I
good.
was hung. I did regress to my hangings because I
See, I
wanted to
think I
see
would
them.
drown because I
Yeah.
have a fear
Well, I
of
was
that.
drowned too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
It's ugh.
drowned.
When I think about
Yeah.
that, it just makes my whole body
Yeah.
shudder. Tom says if there was ever a time to be scared about that shit, again, it's now. True dat. Hiding who you are. Now is the time for necessary cover. If we got to go back into hiding, fucking go back into hiding. Um, you should never feel in danger. Now, if you're somebody who's in a position to stand out and say, yeah, this is me, fuck you, then do so, but always make sure you're safe.
Hmm.
Um, that bothers me about these um, young queens who go out and think they're going to stand up into these big bullies' face and say, well, this is me, take it or leave it. Bitch, I'm gay and I don't do that because I know I'm going to get a right hook
You will.
across the face.
You're
Poof.
supposed to know when to do stuff, when to say things, when not to say things. Like
That's
it's,
true.
you should. I mean, but a lot of people, the younger generation, don't know how to do that. They're raised on the internet and they're keyboard warriors, so they can say anything they want
Yeah.
behind a keyboard and not have and not have the repercussions from that, so they feel like they can do the same thing in public when it's not the same.
No. Um,
So,
ah,
hey, Sarah.
so yeah, there's that. Um, yeah, there's that. Um, there have been people I've told in the past that I am a witch, and the biggest problems I've had were in a group I can't talk about.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that
Fuck.
group that should not be named.
Yes. It's not a bad thing, you guys. It's just it requires a level of anonymity, um, and so I can't really talk about it. It's a respect issue.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's. I'm not going to force my reality on anybody else because it's just that my reality. Um, I live life open and out there, but even I have my safety limits. I know where the edge of the world is so I don't fall
Yeah.
off. The problem with kids these days is they've been told, no, no, you're good, Bobby, you're good, you're good. And then they run head first into a brick fucking wall. And not
Fucking
only
wall.
that, the brick wall hits you back.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it scares me. I wish the kids nowadays had a little more common sense to go along with their activism. I'm
Yeah.
all about
And they
activism.
don't.
Just be common sense full. Common sense sensely. Come you get the idea.
Well, a lot of them lack common sense. The younger generation lacks common sense.
Yeah. Um I've met some Gen Z kids who are totally clueless to the struggles to you ain't kidding, man.
We're definitely regressing, Roman.
Yeah, I've marched in parades, carried picket signs, signed petitions. I put myself in danger. I fought physical battles. Um, not in wars. I wasn't in the military, although I did sign up, but they didn't take me because of education, not because of gay. Um, that's a true statement. There's a lot of shit that went to get you here to the point so you could sit here and act like a little dumb shit. Um, and don't respect the elderly around me.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. I that is something that has always bothered me ever
Mm-hmm.
since I was a little kid. I was the one running to get the door, making sure everybody's taken care of, helping them. Let me carry that for you. You know,
Yeah.
um, people do not, you should never, I don't think anybody in here would. Um, the elderly have earned the right to be respected simply
As they
by
should
being
be.
alive.
Correct.
Yeah. And that's knowledge. You may not
Yeah.
know how to apply the knowledge they give you, but that's on you, not them.
And common sense isn't very common either.
Yeah. I do have issues with the way things are going because of that sense of entitlement that I feel kids were raised with in the last generation. Um, yeah, hypnicity. I didn't see you
Hey,
come
ethnicity.
in.
Yeah. And that's just a basic thing. Good manners.
Yeah, the golden rule was the first witchcraft I ever learned. And to me, that's witchcraft. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you want good to come back to you, do good. See, it's a
Mm-hmm.
type of magic for me. It always has been. It's also why I'm now trying to live life to take care of other people because I really fucked up when I was younger. I took advantage. I walked the darker path of hedonism. I was
Mm.
selfish and all about the pleasure. And what
We
did I
love you,
learn from it?
Bobby.
Uh,
You learned what not to do.
I learned what not to do, but I also learned not to get all hoity-toity and high and mighty.
Hmm.
Yeah. I can now see things from perspectives that I wouldn't have been able to reach without going through what I went through.
So it was a life lesson that you needed to learn at that moment in order to get to where you're at right now.
Yep.
Hmm.
I would not have, because trying to jump from there to here
Not have happened.
would not have happened. I would not have
And you'd
been the
be a
Bobby
different Bobby
before
than
you.
what you are now.
Yeah, we're talking butterfly effect. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're learning to just have fun and not get in your own head. I know. I
Yeah, Bobby
that's
won't let me get in my own head, Bridget. So
yeah.
he's always there to ground me.
You can get all high and mighty that you want, spiritual leader. You're still Selena to me, girl.
You're still my little
You're
sister.
still my little sister. I'm still gonna try to make you fart live on TV. Um, what's a life goal? What? Oh, yeah, have fun. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, did we cover everything? Oh,
Fears,
I know
realities.
your husband now, or the relationship you're in now with your husband is supportive.
Hmm.
Let's talk about early boyfriends and stuff. Um, Nobody ever believed anything I told them. Nothing. And they probably should have. But yeah, nobody
Why?
believed
What'd you
me.
do to them? What
No,
they
I
say?
just no, I'm saying I try to give people warnings, you
Yeah.
know. But nobody ever listened. And that's why the story of Cassandra was so important to me. That Cassandra was an oracle, um,
Oh yeah, yeah.
who was cursed with the gift of foresight, but also that nobody would ever believe her prophecies. So that's how I felt growing up. You know, I would say something and nobody would listen, and all I could do is like,
Eyes closed.
yeah, I'm not gonna watch this. Um,
See what you started about bodily functions.
yes, yes. Um, which is funny because I have a phobia against poopy or anything like that. I just baby
About
poopy
what?
about poopy. What? You know, we have a lot of kids around. I say
I,
poopy. Um,
I'm a
I
mom of three boys. It's not even.
if the doctor says they need a sample from me, I'm like,
And you have to poop in a hat.
oh,
Look on your face.
it's not good. It's not good. I can't do it. Um, no.
That's good, Maureen. Finally realized at the age of 55 she will not allow herself to be treated with disrespect.
So let's say you are a witch practicing in private because you don't feel comfortable or safe or don't have the ability to meet
Support.
other witches.
Hmm.
Um, what are ways to do that? I
Oh.
mean, we take certain things for granted because we're already in the life. We have to
Hmm.
remember that there are witches just starting out. Oh, bug. There are
I
witches
know I'm getting
just.
them all around here. Heck, even if you just say I'm praying, but you're really doing a meditation, you're really doing an incantation, you're doing some spell work like that.
Mhm.
You can just say I'm praying, and that's something that everybody is okay with and does and knows. We can do that. The simple intention of stirring your coffee with intention while
Ooh,
you're
that's a
in the
good one.
morning,
Yeah.
or adding cinnamon in it for like abundance.
When you're cooking for
Or,
your family.
yeah, when you're cooking for your family and someone's sick and you want them to feel better as you're stirring it, you're already imagining them feeling better and doing better, and how you know that what you're making them is going to make them feel
Wait,
better.
wait, wait,
Wait,
wait, wait.
farts in a jar. Oh my God, Sarah, did I just see that? Yes, you can.
You're right.
It's like Jess.
Oh my gosh. You cannot. You're lying. Really?
Yes.
How do you get it in the jar? I'm
Hurry
so
up and put a lid
confused.
on it. I don't
I'm
know.
gonna see if there's a YouTube video. I've got to
Don't
see.
look it up on YouTube. It's gonna
Well,
come up all
apparently, Athen,
over.
let me tell you.
Yeah,
We devolved from
I know what's
witchcraft to
happening.
farting in a
Someone
jar.
that's coming in and just hearing
I'll
this.
tell you, if I'm farting in a jar, it's because I'm doing a jar spell on somebody. I'm gonna do that next time.
Bridget said people are selling air from 2023. It's ridiculous.
Shut up.
Oh
I
my
am.
God, Yalita, sick mofos out there. A next level fetish.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
someone's jar magic. Julianne, yes. That's hilarious.
You got a
It's
jar of dirt.
be quick with the lid. There you go.
There are beaches in Europe where you can't take the sand. It's illegal. You can't take anything from there.
Oh, I
Did you
took a
know that?
bunch of sand.
Because they have that sand actually brought in. They don't have that sand there. And over time, it
Use a
erodes and
mason
people
jar,
take it.
Marine. Those mason jars are expensive, Marine. That's
Oh
what I
my
use.
gosh.
We've gone off on a whole complete different. See
I
what you
no, I don't
started,
want to
Bobby?
look that up on YouTube.
You started, Bobby.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I'll
And
go
then
to my
Roman
corner now.
continued, and then it just spiraled out of control.
Blame Roman. It's all
I
Roman.
am blaming Roman in the chat.
Uh, should we sell witchy farts now?
Yes, Bridget. How about a
Swap witch
Ziploc
farts.
bag of farts? Oh my God, Linda.
Oh my god.
Ethnicity, how did we get here? It
We're
was
gonna
Bobby.
see on her shop.
It's always Bobby.
Don't
How
blame
did we get
Bobby.
here? Easier
Sarah's the
to
one who
ship
said
and
it. Who
way
said that?
lighter. Oh
Somebody
my
said
God,
it.
people. Miss Tarot D is getting involved here. I need to fart and then go off to bed. Smucker's jam jar. Oh my God, you guys. You guys are hilarious.
Good night, Mr. OD.
Good night, Miss Madrina.
We love you, baby girl. Um.
Don't forget
oh,
to date them. Oh my God.
oh
I have
my
a full
gosh.
moon fart.
A full moon fart.
Oh,
Oh,
with full
I'm
moon
gonna
witchy
need to make a
fart.
list. Oh, I'm gonna make a list of magical products. This is gonna be good. That's a good name for an incense. A stinky smelling psychic incense or something. Swamp witch fart or something like that. I'm gonna make some.
Okay.
No, you don't, Roman. Nuh-uh. You
Bobby's the
started
one who
it.
started. No, you started in the chat, buddy.
All right.
Okay, back to.
Say you want to tell somebody close to you that this is something also that's a good question.
How do you tell
It,
them?
how do you tell them? How do you bring
I
it
don't
up?
even know how I told them. I think it was just. You know what? I started making stuff for them that were witchy. Magical farts. Oh, shoot.
I'll tell you how I feel it can be approached. It's not. Um, anybody who needs to find out, the opportunity will arrange itself. Like,
Oh, totally.
um, say somebody is having problems. They're like, I swear, I think there's something in my house. I don't know. Then I'll say, well, okay, I am a witch. I do have knowledge of this. Or if they start talking about something, I will bring it up. But I
Yeah.
don't, that's not my default setting. I don't go, hi, I'm Bobby. I'm a big gay witch who smokes weed. Nice to meet you. Although I should have a t-shirt like that. That'd be awesome.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Fart candle jar.
Oh my God, Janet Lee.
I'm so sorry, Selena.
The good
That
thing,
was funny
innocent
though.
Ramon's not here.
Oh, he would not be comfortable. This poor baby. I don't know. He may have leaned to the side and went rip. You never know. It could happen.
He'd have like a fart noise on his phone or something.
No, Gerald would have a heart. No, Gerald's good at stuff like that. Uh, I probably shouldn't have said that. I'm summoning him. Is it at least a cute jar? It's adorable, but it
I
smells like
mean,
shit. Sorry. Somebody change the topic. I can't do this anymore. Uh,
stop
let's
looking at the chat for a moment and let's
Yeah,
talk
I'm not
about
gonna look.
how
You
is it
guys
that you
are
need to tell
you're a bad
people.
influence, each and every one of you, I swear.
You started it.
Uh, so
Oh my God,
telling
Linda.
people
Here.
you're a witch nowadays is a lot easier than it used to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
Back then I actually had um a website that I would tell people to go look at. And I think it was just recently I found out that website isn't there anymore.
Aw.
Witchbox.com. Um, the Witch's Voice was the place to go
Oh,
for
you told me about
articles.
it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
and it
the
wasn't there.
place to go for your info.
Linda's fart ringtones.
I've had that. Don't laugh. I've had that. I do. Okay, my mom um used to take the bus to work and stuff, and my brother used to put fart noises on there. And I remember when she lived with me, I put a chicken noise on her phone, and yeah. You see,
Yeah,
Witchbox was cool. It was the
yeah.
shit. Um, but yeah, so now I don't really have an online resource I'm comfortable sending people to. So I tell them people and let them search it for themselves,
Yeah.
like Cindy
I mean, I told
Brennan.
my tattoo guy because he said he moved into a house and he was having issues, and I'm like, oh, do you want me to come over and cleanse your house?
Yeah.
You know?
Which brings me, that's a very important thing you just said. Um, I have somebody in my life, he's not in my close circle, um, but he kept trying to hire people to come in and cleanse his house, cleanse his house,
Mm-hmm.
cleanse his house. Um, one, two, three, four of my friends went down at different, and they were doing higher levels of cleansing. And
Cleansed.
the last guy was my friend Angel. Um, no, we used Angel Spirit Box, and everybody finally had to tell him, look, it's probably not in your house, and he actually did need
It was him.
medical. Yeah. Well, he
That's what I
had
was
gone through
feeling when you
some
were talking about
trauma.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, he had gone through some personal trauma, and it got to the point where everybody was telling him, no, 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 no. And one of my friends pulled him aside and says, look, I want you to call this number right now. And she called it for the Veterans Association. And he went from where we were at to get the help he needed. So if, hey, Bill, um,
Hey, Bill.
we are not professionals, medical, legal, scientific.
This is for
If
entertainment purposes only, people.
you need, well, if you need help, please
Somebody in the community
seek it
can,
out.
yeah.
Um, I'm gonna start adding links onto my page for suicide prevention hotline, because I think that's a big thing. I've had a couple of clients recently talk to me about how depressed they are, um, and it worries me that people don't have the resources, that's the word, the resources available to them, or even know where to start looking. One of the things that used to bug me is growing up, my mom got us one of those big ass fat dictionaries, Webster dictionaries.
Mm-hmm.
um, and we'd say, Mom, how do you spell psychopomp or something like that? She'd say, well, look it up. I thought she was training us on how to research stuff. No, Mama didn't know how to spell it. That's why she was telling us to do that.
I
That
love it.
used to bother me. Um, but I needed a starting point. I needed the first letter. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's what we do. We give people the first letter and help them find the direction that they
Mm-hmm.
need. If somebody's saying, well, it's $100 for this reading, and we're going to need at least 4 more sessions,
Mm-hmm.
and then a cleansing, and I want you to purchase these products. Tell them to kiss my ass, all right?
Yeah.
Because they are trying to take advantage of you, all right? I had a problem when I started out charging people
Me
because
too.
I didn't want to charge for helping. But
Me
then
too.
another reader told me, "Are you planning on eating tonight?" I was, yeah. And they're like, "Well,
Yeah,
you better start charging."
I know. I
Um,
mean, I wasn't until recently. It was Cressida who does the book of Santa Muerte. She was sending people my way to order oils and stuff, and I was like, I don't know what to charge these people. And I would say, like, just give me a donation. And
hmm,
she's like, no, what do you mean donation? So they would pay me
good
what they
for her.
felt, but it was, so now
Well,
I
that's how I
have to
started
put
off with tarot
$100.
reading. I would do trade. Bring me a bottle of wine, bring me a joint, bring me something to eat. That's a
Mm-hmm.
fair trade. It wasn't until later I starting off with a small amount, and then I just started raising my prices. And 40 years later, here we are. But
Yeah.
um,
And you're worth every penny, Bobby.
oh, thank you. Um, yeah, I don't try to nickel and dime my clients. If they need something, I'm not going to say, I'll give you for instance, Selena, you really need to pay for an appointment with me. There's something going on with you, and I need to tell you about it now.
Like the people that come in your chat on Instagram. Hey,
Oh,
let me do a reading for you.
I tell them, look at my
I'm like,
profile.
yeah, I'm like, I can do my own reading. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Block.
Yes. Thank you, Maureen. That's very sweet of you. Um,
Oh, thank you.
I always said, pay what you will. Now I have the price withstood. Yeah. So here's the thing. Um, I also have many, many times pulled somebody in and said, "Hey, come talk to me. Um, we're gonna go in here and do a reading." Or yeah, and I've done it in chat. Um, let's set up a reading because I'd rather discuss this in private. And if it turns out over the years people have honestly needed a reading or something, and didn't have money, I'm not going to force the issue.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, people have helped
you're a
me.
sweetheart, Bobby.
I'll pay it along, but I have to know the difference between when somebody's taking advantage of you
Hmm.
and when they're honestly in need. Um, and you can usually tell because if you point somebody in the right direction, they'll pick up the keys and drive. Um, if you point somebody in the right direction and they say, "Well, hold my hand and walk me through the door and then up the stairs," no, it doesn't work like
No,
that. You know.
yeah, I don't think so.
So, you guys, I think we covered everything we were talking about. Um, there is no right or wrong way to come out. There is no right or wrong path to follow. This is
It's
all about
yours. It's your own
our
path.
personal paths.
Yeah. If you don't want to come out, you don't have to. You
No,
do whatever you feel is comfortable for you.
if
And
you are worried about not having an altar set up at home,
you
dude,
don't
I
need
had a
an altar.
portable altar. I had a shoebox. Who
Yeah.
who else had a shoebox? Somebody had a shoebox. Um, a little statue, a key. I have keys that I use to focus on when I talk to the gods.
Hmm.
Hecate and Hermes. I have scales.
Yeah. You
Whatever,
can talk to
anything.
them while you're stirring your coffee. You don't
A
need to have an
candle, your
altar
coffee.
with statues and candles and
No,
herbs and you don't that's those a
It
wand, a
those are
nathamen. Yeah,
trappings.
you
Okay.
don't need any of that stuff. You yourself are the only thing that's needed. You can be in the closet for the rest of your life, and that's fine, and still
Yes.
practice on your own way.
Magic is as old as moonlight. These tools that
As
people
the
are
oldest
using,
time.
it's a tale as old as time. Um, these people, witches didn't have all these tools back in the day. You made do with what you had. So, do you think the witches in the Burning Times had altars set up with statues to the deities and big old pentacles?
No, because a
No.
lot of them were on the road. All they some of them weren't able to be open about stuff, and
Yeah. You do what you have to do.
yeah, correct. Bridget said, as long as you're safe in your own space, that's what matters.
Absolutely. Ready to go. Yeah, see there? There is absolutely no right or wrong way. And there is something called the witch's reed. If you're Wiccan and harm it none, do what thou wilt. Means if you ain't fucking with nobody, nobody gonna fuck with you. Don't start none, won't be none. Okay. Yeah, just be a
However,
good
I'm not.
person. Yeah. I'm a
We've discussed it.
wonderful spirit of light. But on the other hand of that, I am a powerful spirit of night. So take your chances when you
Yeah,
fuck
pick
with
your
me.
poison when you're
Pick your
coming out.
poison, motherfucker. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
pick your
Quina. Did you
poison.
say Quina? Oh, Red Eagle is Quina. Oh, this is one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. Quina and his wife are moving into my area. She's already here. I just had lunch with her last week.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Hi.
Irma. Yeah, I'm excited you're coming down. He's a martial arts instructor. I'm
Oh,
gonna learn how
nice.
to finally defend
Hello,
myself.
nice to meet you. I'm sure I'll
Uh,
be hearing about you from Bobby.
yeah, you. The iron. That's so true. Spirituality has become very commercialized. Trappings is a good word, Bobby. It is. Trappings. They're trapping you into believing you need this or that. You know what you need? You.
Do
That's what you
yourself.
need.
That's it.
Close your eyes. You don't even have to do that. All right. I daydream. I pray. I'm praying to my God sometimes when I'm with my friends and family. A lot of it's, dear goddess, get me the hell out of here. But it's still a prayer.
Oh, I've had moments like that where I was like praying to her, and guess what? She got me out of there pretty darn
Yeah.
quick. I'm like, oh,
I'm
thank you
lucky.
so
The people in
much.
my life, both family and friends, are people I enjoy spending my time with. So
Hmm.
if I'm in a position where I'm not comfortable, then I'll let you know it. Trust me.
Yeah,
So, does anybody have any questions or comments for Selena and I? If you do, do me a favor and yeah, trapping all over the place, Yadira.
yeah,
If you guys have any questions or comments, please post them now. In the meantime, do you have anything coming up? I know you've got a show this weekend.
I do. I have a show on Saturday with Gerald from Tarot Stash. It's called a chat. It's a
Chat
chat casual.
deck casual. I
No,
know.
it's not a deck. It's just a casual. So it's
I-
a casual chat.
yeah.
I guess you put it all in one word.
Gerald lost his deck. Um,
So we have a 11 o'clock Eastern time on Saturday, and it's more like an interview, just a casual interview. And I
awesome.
am simulcasting, so it will be also on my channel and his channel. But if you don't
I
follow Gerald at Tarot Stash, please follow him. Or Linda, because Linda and Gerald do a lot of shows together, and they're hilarious together.
oh, Maureen's moving in a new
Oh, congrats,
apartment.
Marine.
Awesome. Had no clue this was on. Oh,
Oh,
hi,
hi,
Kristen.
Kristen.
Kristen and I are going to be reading together. We had to cancel our last one.
Yeah.
Life happened all over us, so we're scheduling something up. But what
Did you
do
see
I
her little
have?
kitty cats that she's been posting? Her pictures?
Yes, one of them
They're
has
so
the same
cute,
markings as
Kristen.
Aria.
Oh,
Um, What
I know
do I
she's been
have?
busy with them.
I have. This book is really come in handy. Thank you, Linda, by the way, for suggesting I get one. Um, on the
Oh, there's a
18th.
question.
Okay. Well, I will cover that again for you right now. On the 18th, I do have a show coming up which is next Friday. Um, the Hero's Journey. I'm doing it with Allie, and that is from 3 to 5 Mountain Standard Time. You guys have heard about the Fool's Journey. We're going to talk about the Hero's Journey. The Hero's Journey is a reference to a um, book that was out in the 70s. I can't remember the title, but it's all about the archetypal structure of the hero story from beginning
Mm-hmm.
to end. So there's that.
There's another question in there as well.
All right, let's see. Athens said, what got me into tarot was a high school elective class. I was lucky enough to have a really, really cool high school in a hippie town. So um, I got into it with all my friends. And when they stopped reading tarot, I kept going because I recognized the value of it. Uh, how did you get comfortable praying? I was raised Catholic, then atheist, then been struggling a lot with that.
Wow, Bridget, that's a big difference from Catholicism to atheist.
What I'm seeing here is a seeker who doesn't like settling for bullshit answers. You need to know the underlying reasons for everything. I get that. I'm the same way. All my friends are seekers, true seekers.
Mm-hmm.
How did I get comfortable with praying? Um,
Maybe not use the word praying.
yeah.
If that's a big thing for you, the word itself. Say you're doing an incantation or you're meditating. Change the word to something that you are comfortable with, is what I'm feeling right now. Is the word praying, is that what bothers Bridget? The word prayer itself?
I get that with the word. We were just
Mm-hmm.
talking about words can cause
Yeah.
blocks for me.
Yeah. So
Um,
change it into a word that is okay with you and that you resonate with, and not the word prayer, because some people don't. It's a religious thing, like a if it
Ramon was raised Catholic, wasn't he?
no Protestant.
Protestant.
Yeah.
Um, if I don't know what path you follow, but most witchy paths start with the elements. So my advice to you is to either get a
Yeah.
bowl of
She
water,
thinks the word praying.
yeah, some water, incense, a rock, uh, earth, air, fire, a bowl of water.
Yeah.
Anyway, something to represent the four elements: a feather, incense,
Yeah.
something.
A
Um,
candle for the fire,
yeah,
or
just
incense if you don't want to
connect
do. Yeah.
with yourself. That's your starting point. You need to understand yourself and then
Oh, she doesn't
try
know
to
which path I
connect.
follow yet, Bobby. But I'm more open than I was.
Well,
Yeah.
that's fine. There is
Yeah.
meditations you can do that will open your mind. Tarot is a great exercise. Just keep throwing cards down over and over and looking at them, trying to make sense of them, and your inner self is going to make sense of them for you. Um, Problem is a lot of the time when we see something for ourselves, we don't want to hear it or listen to ourselves. So we'll try to impart meaning in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't like to read for myself. I'll get um,
Yeah. But that's how I
Joey.
started, though. I started reading for myself to really get used to the cards, and
Yeah.
I am comfortable reading for myself because of that. You know.
Your cat's name is Bob Marley, and she's got a dot leaf on her back. That's awesome.
Aww.
Um, Bastat. That's somebody I'm starting to open up to. Hip surgery got you into tarot. What? You went in for the operation? The doctor said, "Hi, I'm Dr. Zimmerman. Here's my card. Here's your cards."
I love it.
That's awesome. I'd love to hear that
Yeah,
story.
so you
So,
get into
about
the same.
Kristen, do you know who one of her relatives is, you guys?
I do know.
Nobody? It's Pamela Coleman Smith. How freaking awesome is that? No, no, I don't know who this is, so I'm not answering. Busy, sorry. I should have answered. Ugh, darn it, they hung up. I was like, hello? Yeah, I'm on YouTube right now.
I know.
um, who said school isn't cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it used to be when we could smoke and do tarot cards and do all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah, making that shift from Catholic to pagan can be tricky. Um, my advice to you is if you work with a deity, when you sit down for your meditations, ask them to just sit with you. Have you ever tried to just sit without talking? You can't do it. At least I can't do it.
I
So
can.
just sit with your gods and imagine sitting in silence. And this is what I do. I don't know if it'll work for you. I imagine sitting with my gods in silence and then me going. And on a side note, did you
Yeah.
know?
Did you see what that person tried doing to me? What are we going to do about it?
Yeah, but it's a form of meditation that starts a conversation. And since I'm trying not to converse, the words
Yeah.
that are in the conversation are going to be meaningful. I don't know if that made sense to you, but yeah. Let me see. Did I miss anything else, Selena?
I don't think so.
Rhyming words. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big thing with spells. Mm, I've got to find the
Oh, Maru,
poetry that
one of my favorite
says,
affirmation decks is the universe has your back.
ooh, what a great title.
Yeah.
Hero with the Thousand Faces, Joseph Campbell. Thank you, Timmy. This is the hero's journey, you guys. Um, it's a fascinating, throughout history around the world, these archetypal structures generally have the same thing: the trip, the trial, and the return. And it's fascinating. We're going to talk about it on Thursday. And then, of course, next Thursday night, Ramon will be back with us.
And we'll be hopefully discussing again back to our topic of divination in Egypt.
Egypt is the place to be. Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
Egypt. You don't know that song?
Nope.
Dun, 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 dun. Egypt, Egypt. It's it wasn't Easy E. It was from the 80s. It was when pop locking was going big and everybody was doing that. Egypt is the place. Yeah, it was a badass song. Don't blame me because y'all didn't do breakdancing, okay?
I was born in 81, so.
Oh, 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 you kicked me right in my belly. Ouch. I was born in 69.
That explains a lot.
Bobby's an old bitch. Yeah, I'm gonna get Kristen on my channel. And we're gonna talk about all kinds of stuff soon,
Mm-hmm.
and that is going to be okay. Yes, you remember it too. Okay, that's why she's my bitch.
Whoa.
Egypt is the place to be. All right, I'm gonna stop talking because we could go on forever. And Selena's
Linda said
getting
she graduated high school in 69.
oh, it's a okay. I was born in 1969, the year of the cock.
Oh, I'm also a cock too.
Oh,
81
look
is.
at us, a bunch of
We're
cocks
both
here.
cocks.
Ah, you're younger than me, Maureen. That's why you look so cute. Yeah, I'm old.
Bye, Kristen. She's got to go
It's
feed the
all
little
the.
kittens.
I honestly believe that witches and Christians, anybody who channels spiritual energy, looks younger than
Mm-hmm.
they are. I really do. We'll have to do a show on that sometime.
It's a
The
cock
cock
party.
party.
It is, Kristen.
Do you know Ramon's sign? His Chinese zodiac?
No. He
I'm
has
gonna
to
ask.
be also. Aren't you guys the same age?
No, I'm older than Ramon.
By a
Don't tell him
year?
you thought we were the same by a year or two. Yeah.
I think a
Um,
year. Oh,
yeah,
she's a
he's
goat. Yeah, he
another
does a
one.
goat.
I'm a fucking goat with all the
Ethnicity's a rat.
I love it. You had a 69
We're
Chevelle.
well
I had a
seasoned, Maureen.
63 Chevy Bel Air.
Oh, Bridget's also a
Woo!
cock.
All kinds of Mexican. Oh, we're all cocks. I love
A
it.
little cockadoo by Gen B, visionary gal.
A cock-a-doodle doo. A little
Oh, Witchy best friend's a
cock-a-doo.
horse. I love how we're just like we go off
My
on these
ex-wife is a
tangents.
horse. Uh,
Snake, Linda's a snake. Yes.
I exhibit no surprise. All right, everybody. We love you. We love
So
you
Roman
all.
wants a final card pull
Okay, let's do
to
that.
send us
That's a
off.
good idea.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yippee-yo, yippee-yay, bow wow,
Wow, wow,
yippee-yo,
yippee yo,
yippee-yay.
yippee That was Roman. Oh, Marine's a dog.
Atomic
Oh, see, I know that song. I
dawn.
know George Clinton.
Yeah, well, it helped that my dad was a DJ too.
Ah,
Yeah, I remember being at a family barbecue and everybody saying, "Down on the ground, get the kids down."
I love
You
it.
know,
So I pulled a card already.
go for it.
And I did the deck that Roman gave me. It's called El Rey de Oros, which is the King of Pentacles. And I am seeing that and feeling for this group tonight is protect your energy like you would your finances.
Ooh.
That is my message for you guys. Since we've talked about our witchy paths and protect your energy like you do your finances, people.
Well,
And honor
since
your commitments. Definitely honor your commitments.
I'm going to pull a
That's my
card
word.
from
That's
this
my
deck.
part, guys.
My card for you all is the Seven of Wands.
Ooh. Oh, I love that. See, it's protection again. They're putting a circle around themselves.
Uh-huh.
So it goes with my message.
This card is about spiritual defense, not just defense. Wands deal with magic for me. So this is a caution and a warning to create your boundaries, stand by those boundaries, and only let what you want through those boundaries. And if somebody doesn't like your bound, notice I keep saying the word boundaries to drive the point home. All right. Those boundaries are there to protect you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Create those boundaries. And that's what
Yep.
she's doing down
And
there.
protect your energy.
All right. So that is what I
Like I
have.
said with this guy right here.
And yeah. And well, they're if you are in a hostile environment and you don't keep your guard up, you're going to regret it. If you're in a comfortable environment and you let your guard down and you get hit in the face, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
regret it. So I advise a low level constant protection thing going on in the background, something you don't have to think about. Okay. So just picture a wall around you, spray,
Or,
cleansing,
yeah.
something. Okay. I'm real big on visualization. I'm a visual witch.
Yep.
Where's mine?
Oh, by the way, if y'all want a psychic defense spray, it comes from Joey, the Veiled Cottage Witch. And she said she will make it for you if you mention my name. Because I don't
There
think
is
she
a
has
link to
this.
Joey's website
Yeah.
in my YouTube
Yes,
description.
Yadira amulets too. So this came from the wonderful Yadira. She makes beautiful bracelets. And she made me that one.
This is Ramon spray.
And I always wear it, girl, on lives because I need my protection.
I need to talk to him. I want him to send me another box of this so I can send to one of my clients. She will love this. Quina! It's for Irma, his wife. I want to get Irma some of this.
Irma?
Irma. I love her. She is one of those women who she's like you, strong-willed Mexican, powerful, spiritual
Oh,
woman,
I love that.
and that just makes me happy to be
Hmm.
surrounded by that energy. Um, he's like, yeah, strong-willed. That's her.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, follow. I see you wearing all the lives smart because people love to hate behind other people's backs, sadly. That's right, Yelida. I always
Mm.
have so much protection put on around me when I go on lives or when I do a video because of that reason.
Do you know? I probably mentioned this before, but I'll tell you guys again. My friend Angel um,
Mm-hmm.
writes on his skin with an invisible UV light pen that you could get from Amazon when he's going into certain situations. He'll make sigils all over his body.
Oh,
You
that's
can't
so cool.
see them. He said, want to see something cool? Took out a black light and went like this over his arm, and
Heck,
they were all sigiled up. And I was like, oh my
I love
God,
that.
my new favorite thing. So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
Um, if you need that kind of protection, you guys order those sets off Amazon and do it. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and if your instinct is telling you something, you guys follow it, listen to it. Your instinct is trying to keep your ass out of trouble and alive. Okay.
Yeah.
All
But
right,
definitely,
everybody.
Yadira has a great shop on Etsy. I've bought many things from her, from BS bath salt that I scrub off after I do a live. I use her bath salt to cleanse my whole self all over again. I wear the
Mhm.
protection bracelet she sends me. I have the black salt on my altar that I've bought from her. She's incredible, guys.
Yeah. Um, you know
Yeah.
what? Before we go, you guys, um, I want to say I am so honored to be part of this community. I love you guys. You're awesome. You've embraced me. You've embraced Selena. We appreciate you. You
Yeah. You
made
could
me a
have been anywhere
sigil.
else.
Oh, thank you, Maru.
Yeah. Oh, I love that, Maru. You're incredible.
Yeah, see, your son has
Mhm.
those. That's awesome.
Thank you, Bridget, for putting up Yadira's Etsy shop on there. Please follow her
Yes.
at Etsy shop. Follow Yadira. Follow everybody in the chat if you don't already.
So I will have Allie on next Thursday for the hero's journey, and then the following week on the 21st, Sherry will be on Behind the Cards,
Oh,
um,
how cool.
Voices from the Swamp. And
Thank
then
you,
that
Bridget, for
following week,
putting up Joey's shop.
yes, love it. I don't do a live without doing Joey's shop because these oils that she makes are some of my favorites. This third eye oil. I I
I don't want
send
to hear
this to
about it,
everybody.
Bobby.
It's right there. It's right there.
It should be in my hands.
That's it. In my defense, I smoke a lot of weed, so I
Oh,
don't like to
thank you,
drive.
Maureen.
Um, yeah.
We appreciate everybody in the chat for being here. I mean, you guys could be anywhere else doing something completely different, and instead you decided to spend the night with us, and we greatly
Wait,
appreciate you guys.
back up. Irma's here.
Oh, hola, Irma.
There she is. There's my girl. What? Did I summon you, girlfriend? I was just talking about you.
I
I
think
was
so.
saying I want to get you some of my friend Ramon's smudging oil. We were just talking about it
Stuff's
today. I've
potent,
got some for
good
you.
stuff.
Um, yeah, I need to
Yeah.
set up a day to have lunch with you coming up. All right. We're out of here before we get sidetracked again. We've been on for 2
For two
hours.
hours.
Yeah, love you. Love you all, but I gotta
Thank
go
you
eat.
guys. But we have to go eat.
Bye.
Bye.